to heat up your frozen dinners, grab your TV tray, and settle in for another episode of the Plus Platoon, your podcast for all things Disney Plus, brought to you by Disney Plus fans. Watch along with us every week as we cover all the new, the old, the good, and the bad on Disney Plus. So put down that remote, don't touch that dial, and welcome your fabulous Plus Platoon host.
Hey everyone, welcome and Merry Christmas. We are the Plus Platoon. We are a Disney Plus fan podcast that gives accurate, spoiler-filled reviews of movies and shows on Disney Plus. We look at new releases, coming attractions, and we'll even go back into the vault to revisit some of the classic Disney that's on the platform. Please make sure you're subscribed and you will never miss a moment. I'm going to bring in my girl, Kate. Kate, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas! I'm very excited for tonight.
Yeah, it's Christmas is my favorite time of the, it's the most wonderful. Okay, that's enough of my
You know what? Well, I'll say this when we get everybody else on. Go ahead.
Next, we have our birthday boy, Peter.
Yay! I'm very happy to be talking on my birthday, one of my favorite Marvel properties.
Merry Birthmas!
Got my Guardians shirt on to celebrate. And Mickey's okay too.
I have my little Groot over there.
And last but certainly not least, we've got Steve. Steve, we're almost there for Christmas break, bud.
Almost. Happy holidays, tuners.
Yeah.
Woo!
Guys, if you have not already, please like, subscribe, share. We are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, everything at Plus Platoon. And, you know, you love us. We are your favorite Christmas podcast that talks about Disney. So share us with everybody else.
Yeah.
Okay, Kate, what have we got this week for Disney Plus news?
Well, I will get into the Disney Plus news, but I wanted to say the holidays are also my favorite time of year, except it's really hard to be so holidayed here in Florida when it's 95 degrees all the time. So just know that.
That's fair.
Anyway, Disney Plus news. First up, Disney Strange Worlds will be premiering on Disney Plus on December 23rd. The film has a rather lackluster, the film had a rather lackluster run in theaters, but it's on the service just in time for Christmas viewing. So Merry Christmas to us. I am going to choose that I'm going to like it. I've heard mixed emotions. We'll see.
Oh, I haven't even heard mixed.
Oh, really? Oh, I've
No.
heard, well, we'll see.
Yeah.
Number 2, the Witch Mountain set of films is being revived for a pilot of a series on Disney Plus. This is the first time that a pilot for a series has been announced instead of just giving us the series. So I'm actually looking forward to this. I have high hopes for this. What do you guys think? Okay.
Well, no. I'll give you my opinion because I, within the last 5 years, saw there was 2 original Witch Mountain movies that took place in the 70s from Disney, and I watched those within the last 5 years. They're not very good. The first one's okay. The second one is really bad. And then there was a 1995 either revival, and then there was also one with The Rock in 2009 or something like that. None of them are particularly good. So I'm always in favor of reviving something that is maybe not the best but has potential. So I'm okay with this.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to it. I love it when they have series that we just don't have to keep watching Marvel and Star Wars. So
Agreed.
good.
I agree with that.
There is that.
I'm excited for it. I remember liking Escape to Witch Mountain a lot. So, yeah, we'll see. And last but certainly not least, the head writer of Echo has stated that there are delays in the series. Instead of it coming this summer, he has said it will come December of 2023 at the earliest. This could potentially have a ripple effect on the release dates of other Marvel series, including the announced winter debut of House of Harkness. So we'll see.
Yeah. I wonder, going back to the Witch Mountain thing, I wonder if announcing the pilot is in line with some new cost-cutting measures. They say they're going to announce the pilot and actually give us the pilot, and then see if they really want to make the series or not.
That's the first thing that I thought of too, was that it was a Bob Iger. Let's not just throw $50 million at a series and make 12 episodes. Let's make an episode and see if it's worth us making a series.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that. Okay. Now, speaking of constantly having to watch Marvel and Star Wars things, Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special has come out this year, and the basic idea behind it is Star-Lord is depressed at Christmas, and Mantis and, help me guys,
Drax.
Okay. I was like Dave Bautista, but anyway.
Yes.
Drax decide that they need to get him something from Earth for Christmas, and so they go and they kidnap Kevin Bacon.
Brilliant.
And they bring him back there, and Kevin Bacon realizes that there's more important things than being with your family immediately for Christmas. Helping other people out is important. And Star-Lord realizes that, yes, these people love him, and he finds out that Mantis is his half-sister. And we have to sit through a couple songs. So that is Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special in a very short summary.
Mm-hmm. That was a pretty good summary.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Steve, I'm going to start with you. Is this a fun time, or is it just 6 degrees of strangeness?
It is a fun time. I loved it. I love the soundtrack. I thought Drax and, oh my gosh, now I'm just dropping the name.
Mantis.
Mantis.
Thank you, Mantis. They were hilarious. Mantis was my favorite. Just the switch of emotions and just their viewpoint on what they thought it was all about. My favorite song was I Want an Alien for Christmas. That one just cracks me up because in my household, our go-to holiday song is I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas.
Of course it is.
And there's a nice rock version that we always listen to. So that one just cracked me up.
Fountains of
Kevin
Wayne.
Bacon. Yes. And then just Kevin Bacon. Just over the top cheesiness. Loved it. And yeah. And then I loved all the things in the Groot, because working with preteen teenagers, Groot nailed it. Just the weird awkwardness of him in the background cracked me up. Yes.
Yep.
Derek, what do you have to say?
Well, I need to adjust my background for this one.
Oh no!
Yeah, for those of you who can't see, Scrooge McDuck and and Michael Caine as Ebenezer Scrooge from Mickey's Christmas Carol. No, this was not good. This was not funny.
What?
Kevin Bacon came across as annoying.
I mean,
The only thing I laughed at was when Rocket got Bucky's arm for Christmas. That was funny, and it actually helps inspire one of our next questions. But no, admittedly, I'm not a huge Guardians of the Galaxy fan. They make an excellent Tower of Terror, but that's about it. And I'm not a huge Marvel fan. If neither one of those fits you, go find something else to watch for Christmas, because this is not that great of a show. And I'll wait and see what the other two that I've got. Well, yeah. Baham Groot.
Oh, that was good. That was good. That was good.
When did Rowdy Gaines from Days of Thunder join the Blue Man Group and fly a starship?
Have you seen any of the Guardians of the Galaxy?
No.
Okay. So can I go? Am I good to go?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. I am not surprised at all that you didn't like this. It doesn't surprise me, because I think this was geared toward kind of like how Andor was geared toward like the diehard Star Warsies. I feel like this was geared toward the diehard Marvels or the diehard Guardians fans, because if you didn't know the story, if you didn't know about Yondu, if you didn't know all of that stuff, I don't think this would have worked as well. I loved it. I thought it was hilarious. The first song about Christmas that I can't remember the title of it, but when they're like, "Oh, we
I don't
just
know what Christmas is, but it's Christmas time.
yeah,
Yeah.
like we just found these Terran instruments, so we're just gonna play them." And Chris Pratt's like, you just picked those up, okay? Um, Chris Pratt was perfect in his slightly dumb, but also like he was just great.
And
Um,
I will agree with you on that. I enjoyed Chris Pratt's character in this.
yeah.
He played it very well.
Mantis and Drax getting drunk at the bar made me laugh out loud. Drax loving the inflatable elf.
His little man.
I like everything about this, in my opinion, was just so good. It was, I I love it when actors play themselves. I just get a kick out of things like that. Like if you've ever watched, I think it might have been Ocean's 13, one of the Ocean's movies, and Julia Roberts
12.
is
12. Ocean's 12.
is it
It's
12?
Yeah.
It's 12.
Okay, when Julia Roberts is playing an actress playing Julia Roberts.
And then Bruce
like-
Willis shows up as Bruce
Yeah.
Willis.
Yeah, like I get a kick out of things like that. Kevin Bacon. So to be fair, I was actually kind of confused. I didn't realize the Kevin Bacon comments. I was expecting David Hasselhoff instead, because they make such a big deal out of David Hasselhoff. So
David Hasselhoff was already in volume 2, though.
Oh, that's true. So
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved, because I was very confused at Groot. Because he didn't look like baby Groot. He didn't look like little preteen Groot. He was like teenager
18-year-old Groot.
Yeah, and I was like, why does he look so weird? I said that to Casey, but then he got his present and he just started jumping up and down, and I was like, I want to snuggle him. I loved it. I thought it was fabulous. I thought it was perfect. For what it was, a one-off holiday, perfect. Go ahead, Pete.
Wait, Derek wants to say something.
I was going to
Go
say,
ahead, Derek.
but if you look at the end credits, the hope of it being a one-off may not be there, because there's an end credit scene that says,
Was there a post-credit scene?
Yes,
There was, yeah.
Oh, I missed it.
They were decorating Groot as a Christmas tree, and then he drops it all down, and Rocket says, "Well, now we got to have another special."
I think that was just a joke.
Yeah, probably, yeah, but
I don't
go back
think.
and watch that.
Yeah, they've basically said that after volume 3, there's no more Guardians of the Galaxy stuff
in this iteration, anyway.
in this iteration, right? Okay, Derek, I don't understand how you can be so wrong. This was. How did you not find this funny? I just don't understand it.
Kevin Bacon came off as annoying.
But Kevin Bacon, like the stuff where like they're in front of the Chinese theater, and Drax gets like all upset because there's a transformer there, and he's like, a GoBot killed his uncle.
A GoBot killed his cousin.
His cousin.
Oh my god. Oh my god. And he just, all the pictures, he's like this.
Yeah.
Like so good. So good.
And he has his little man, and she has the candy cane, and he's like, "You got your man," and she's like, "This isn't a man. Why would you think it's a man?" And he's like, "Well, what is it?" And she's like, "I don't know. It's a shape."
Like, this is not a man, right? And they're like, "No," and she goes,
Right.
"I knew it."
She's talking to the cops in the upside. Is this a man?
And I love her. I'm sorry. I'll interrupt. When she's like, "I really wanted this, but I'm giving it to you, so now we're even." Like, we're not mean. We're not. Drax, you can't kill people. Like, oh my god, it was so good. I'm sorry, Pete. Keep going.
Even when he throws her over the wall, and she's like, "What are you doing?" She was great.
She was perfect.
She was so good. And she didn't really have much of that character only appeared first in volume 2 and didn't have a big role in it, even though she ended up joining the team. But and just, I don't know, so much. I mean, the Bucky arm thing was great, because in Infinity War, Rocket meets Bucky, and he's like, he tries to buy his arm, And then at the end of it, he goes like, "I'm gonna get that arm." so the fact that he did get the arm is pretty great. But and Groot's little
The little dioramas he
the little
made.
dioramas he gave, and then they're all from the episode. And then the last diorama is a diorama of
The diorama.
of what's his name sitting there, and it's a diorama, and then in the diorama there's another one, and I'm just like, I just find that kind of stuff so hilarious, and it had enough little bit of heartwarming charm to it too. Yeah, Kevin Bacon was kind of annoying, but I think that's how they wanted him to play it. That that he was this
job.
Yeah, no, I think that's how they wanted him to play it, and also like the whole thing, like when they find out he's an actor.
Oh my god!
And like Mandis is like,
actors are the worst. And oh, what's her name? She's blue. What's her name?
Nebula.
She makes another comment.
Yeah.
She's like, oh God, we hate actors. And when Drax is like, oh, this is Kevin Bacon, we don't hate him at all. Like I laughed out loud. So
yeah.
Sorry,
I'm
Derek.
sorry. It was so funny. Is there a lot to it? It's a very light. I mean, it's like 40 minutes long, right? It's very light. It's not very heavy. We do find out that Mantis is, as you said, is Peter Quill's half sister, which we did not know before this. So that was a piece of information. The only other piece of information that I think might relate to the third movie coming is that area they said they bought nowhere, which is the skull of a titan, not a titan. What are the ones from Eternals? No, not Eternals. Whatever they are, the Celestials. It's a skull of a Celestial. They bought nowhere, and so that's going to be like their base for the last movie, I guess. But I don't know that really matters that much. But I don't know. I think these characters are so great. Well, they also introduced us to Cosmo. We'd seen Cosmo in a previous Guardians movie, but he didn't talk, so that's new. That's actually a character from the comic books.
Now, to be fair, I did talk to Micah about this. Micah, our resident Marvel expert,
mm-hmm.
and Micah didn't like it either.
Really?
Micah did not like this. So I mean, I am a little vindicated with that. So
that's very surprising to me. I would be curious to know why. Because Derek,
it was a lot. Honestly, it was a lot of my arguments. It was a lot of. There was very little. No, it didn't move a story along at all, and it was 45 minutes of us.
I don't think it was supposed to. I don't think that was the point of it.
But even within the story, the plot was very, very. Even within the show, the plot was very thin.
Well, all right. Yeah.
I guess, Derek, I can understand why you wouldn't like it. I can understand that because you don't like.
I don't have the connection.
Going into it, we knew the kind of character Drax was. We knew the kind of character Mantis was. We knew that this was an 18, 17-year-old version of Groot. Like, I feel like you did have to have some of that knowledge. You had to know that they talked about Kevin Bacon. Why was that funny? Like, I feel like you did, even though we were saying before, like, oh, you don't really need to know anything.
That's what I went off of. I went off of you guys saying
I
didn't need to know anything.
Correct. And I think that Pete and I were right because Pete and I both told you that. But I think having watched it, it's funnier if you know. I think I would have still thought it was funny.
It's funnier if you know the characters,
but
for
it's
sure.
Funnier if you know the characters.
Yeah.
I agree.
I would agree.
Okay, next question.
So this whole thing was centered around them getting Kevin Bacon for Star-Lord. We saw them giving presents to each other. So I want to know what you would gift to your favorite Avenger. And Pete, I'm going to start with you on this one. What would you gift to your favorite Avenger?
This is a hard one because I had to figure out who my favorite Avenger was first. And I decided my very favorite Marvel movie is Captain America: Winter Soldier. So I went with Captain America because I also think he's fairly easy to get a gift for. So I would be buying Captain America a box set of all the Stanley Kubrick movies because I think he totally needs to see all those super weird movies, like,
Strange Love,
2001, Clockwork Orange, The
Doctor
Shining.
Strangelove.
Yeah. And like, I think that would be the perfect gift for Cap. He probably, his friends tell him to go see Star Wars and Jaws and, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Sure. But you got to see the weirdness of cinema too, that happened while he was asleep. So that's my pick. I'd get him the Stanley Kubrick box set for Captain America. What about you, Steve?
So I thought about this all day, and I don't really have a favorite Avenger. I like all the Avengers, so I'm going with a gift for all of them, and it's going to be gift cards to Swarmer Palace, so they can play Swarmer.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good.
So that's the way I'd go.
I'm
So
so mad I didn't think of that myself.
We know they like it.
they like it.
Yeah.
So that's what I do. So that's what I do for my local Starbucks. We give gift cards to our favorite store location that we always visit. So then to like a local restaurant, so they can go and enjoy for the year. So
I love that.
all right, Derek, what would you do?
Well, when I initially thought of this, my first thought was to give Thanos and Iron Man a recording of the Addams Family theme song, but I thought it might be too soon. But thinking about it, and I'm going to go a little non-traditional, I would give Steve another round through with Peggy. Let him go back again and have another round through, another lifetime with Peggy. Mainly because if you have someone who you love and who is your every and all and be all, the best gift you can have is time. And so that was my thought, was let him go back and have another go through with this life that he had to miss out on the first time.
Oh, well, that puts mine to shame.
Yes. Oh, not a competition, even though I just won, but
Oh, that's really sweet.
No.
Okay, well, so my gift would be going to Groot. And because I have a very, I mean, most of you know, if you're listening to this in the future or watching this, I was very, very fortunate to get to bring baby Groot to life at Walt Disney World. It is how I met my fiance, who brought Star-Lord to life at Disney World. So I would get Groot one of two things. Well, I would actually get Groot both. I would get Groot wood polish so that he could like polish up his real shiny and fancy. I would also get him some sort of a board game, like
board game for a
yeah,
trade,
some
really
sort of a board game.
game.
It would either be like, or I would get him some sort of a game. Like at first, I was like, oh, I'd get Groot a Switch because Groot would love Switch. But I would more get Groot like Operation or something with a big button that he can push, from like the first movie where Rocket was like, you don't push the button. Don't push this button.
That's the second one. Yeah.
Trouble.
Right. Yes, there you go.
Oh, Trouble. Yeah. So I would get Groot some sort of a board game, I think. But see, it changed a little bit when I watched this, because now I'm like, oh man, I feel like there's something really funny I could get Drax. Like
inflatable elf.
An inflatable elf. Yes, an inflatable elf. That's what I would get Drax. Yeah, I don't know. That I would get Groot some sort of a board game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. All right. As we do with things like this, round up pixie dust. Kate, starting with you. Pixie dust rating out of 5.
You know what? I'm gonna give this a 5. I really enjoyed this for what it was. I think they did a fabulous job. And I know I don't give 5s very often, but I don't know what I would take off points for. Because it to me, it just works. I mean, if I were to knock it down at all, it might be because of Kevin Bacon. But at the same time, he was being himself. He was being himself. So I'm gonna give this a 5. Go ahead, Pete.
I'm going to give it a 4.5 because I don't quite rank it as high as the very, very best of Marvel stuff. Again, I want to rate it for what it is, which is, it's a Christmas special, right? Christmas specials are supposed to be light and fun and heartwarming. They aren't supposed to be deep and, life changing or anything like that, unless you're talking about Charlie Brown. But I think that, I think it was, I really enjoyed it. So yeah, 4.5 for me. What about you, Steve?
I'm giving it a 4. Same thing. Enjoyed it. Thought it was hilarious. Loved the soundtrack. Like that music right there, that 80s music is right where I grew up. So I appreciate it. I have to mention, I also loved the cheesy Christmas movie playing in the background that found out it's actually a real movie. Santa Saves
Claus
the Martians.
Conquers the Martians.
Martians.
It's so good. Have you seen it?
No, we
I have
have
not
not,
seen
but
it.
it is. Yeah,
It's so bad. It's good.
yes.
It's so bad. It's good. Sorry.
Yes.
Had to put
But
that.
yeah, I loved it. So I'm giving it a strong 4. Derek.
With the caveat that I have not seen either of the 2 Guardians movies. If you have not seen either of the Guardians movies, it's a 1.5. Don't. There are other Christmas specials. There are so many more Christmas specials that I would watch.
Okay, but what I'll say is, if you haven't seen the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, go see the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie because it's so good. It is. I do give that the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. I do give a 5. So it is top 3 Marvel for me.
I may put that on my watch list over the Christmas.
Probably top 2.
Okay.
Not 1, 2 though.
Okay, that's
2.
fair. Okay. Also, this year, we have a brand new Mickey Mouse stop motion Christmas special called Mickey Saves Christmas. The idea behind it is Mickey and the gang are going up to this cabin, and Pluto wants him to play with him, but he's too busy. So Pluto ends up unplugging the lights for Santa who's coming in. His toys fall to the bottom of the lake. They go back to the whole gang goes back to the North Pole to try and remake the toys. Santa has to go back and look for Prancer because Prancer got left at the cabin. And then everyone gets together and everyone has a very, very Merry Christmas. Okay. Kate, as our resident Mickey Mouse specialist,
Oh no.
is this a new Christmas classic?
It's not. And let me preface this by saying I had really high hopes going into this because I love stop animation. I've loved stop animation ever since. I don't know if y'all remember. Do y'all stop motion? That's what I meant. Do y'all remember Claymation Christmas? Y'all remember Claymation?
With the
I loved Claymation. Don't you come for Claymation because I loved Claymation Christmas. So I love stop animation. I didn't make it all the way through this. It's only 20 something minutes long.
23 minutes long with credit.
Yeah, and I made it maybe 15. And I was like, I said, well, I gave it a try. Like I couldn't, it did not hold my attention. And I have beef. You want to know why I have beef? Because they named one of the first little chicklets that walked up to talk to Santa. They named her like Susie or something. Listen here. If anyone knows anything about Disney, that should have been named Roxanne because she looked exactly like Roxanne from a Goofy movie. Literally just like her. So I was already put off when they were like, oh, Susie, what do you want for Christmas? And I was like, that's not her name. It's not her name. Her name's Roxanne. It did not hold my attention. And I love Christmas movies. I would have rather have watched the Jane documentary.
Ooh.
You go.
Well, I did make it all the way through it. This is definitely a Christmas short that is meant for the kids. It very much when my daughter was young was when Mickey Mouse Clubhouse was out, and this very much reminded me of Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Just very, very happy characters. There's there's no real conflict in the episode particularly. I mean, yeah, they got to solve a problem. But there was very little to it that made it interesting as an adult. I could see a 5-year-old enjoying it. But it was not something it was not an all ages Christmas special. Let's put it that way. It was definitely something meant for the little ones. I did appreciate that they did it in stop motion. That and I thought that the stop motion was done very well. They did the characters all very well, but it was again very much the character style of the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse and the Mickey Racers, which came after that. So I was also very disappointed in it, though, quite honestly, because I was hoping, to me, a lot of the old Mickey animation shorts would appeal to all ages, and this just, to me, did not. So, Steve, what do you think?
Can we say cheese with more cheese and even more cheese? Just really cheesy. I like you. Had high hopes. I made it through, but I did catch myself like checking my phone during the times. What I did appreciate is all the sort of the little hidden Mickeys in the background. If you're paying attention, that there's a lot of Mickey heads throughout. If you're looking for that, but just really cheesy. I agree with you, Pete. Definitely for that young set, but not a classic I'll be watching next year. It's a one and done.
I appreciated the Mickey stuff until like Santa had everything of his covered with Mickey's too. And then I was just like, is Santa just a corporate shill for Mickey then?
Can confirm
Maybe.
that not all Mickey mice have Mickeys everywhere.
No. Yes. But Derek, what do you say?
Not only was it cheesy, the cheese was moldy.
Wow.
Pete,
Did you watch all of it? Did you make it farther than I did?
I watched all of it, and to be perfectly honest, I watched it like when it first came out, and I didn't know if I'd actually given it a fair shot, so I actually watched it again.
Whoa.
And shouldn't have.
Oh, you're better than me.
Pete, I can specifically think of at least one Mickey Mouse Clubhouse Christmas special that is much better than this. There's at least one, if not two, that are much, much better than this short. I had a problem with the voices. Daisy sounded not like Daisy at all. And she's in Mickey Mouse Clubhouse and the Treehouse or whatever it is now. Did not sound like Daisy. The Mickey got better as the episode went on. If this was designed for kids, having 3 songs in 20 minutes is too many songs for kids, especially when the songs aren't very good. And the songs did not repeat themselves enough to be good little kid songs. I think Toodles would have infinitely helped this.
Yeah.
Wow.
This really could have used some Mousecatools.
Yeah.
Like a writer and a composer. And I mean, the only thing that worked was the stop motion. That was the only thing that worked about this. This was not good. I think this will be a fairly quick round, but Kate, pixie dust on the Mickey Saves Christmas.
1.5. I'll go 1.5.
I will also say 1.5, though. Again, I will say if you have real little ones, you could sit them down in front of it and they might enjoy it. It is not something for anyone beyond 5. And so I would, if you are a fan of Mickey Mouse, I would, as an adult, I would avoid it.
Watch Mickey's Christmas Carol instead.
Steve.
It's the holidays. I'm going to give it a 2, barely a 2, because I know it was not meant for me. I'm not the target audience, but The younger ones, they'll probably enjoy it. So a 2. Derek.
If you have not seen the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas movies, watch that before you watch this. This is a 1. This is a 1 all day long. Again, there are so many great Mickey Mouse Christmas stuff. Not to mention so many other great Christmas movies for little kids or big kids. Little kids would have been asking to borrow mom or dad's cell phone to play a game on it while they were to watch something else while this was on. My son would not have made it all the way through this when he was 3 at all. Yeah. Don't watch it.
Disappointing is the best one-word review I can think of.
Yeah. Now, before we get on to what's coming next week, I do have some exciting news.
Oh, no.
No. Good exciting. Last year, this time of year, we reviewed Muppet Christmas Carol. And this year being the 30th anniversary.
I heard about this, so.
Yes, you did. They have restored the song.
Oh, no. There's no volume.
No volume?
No volume.
Okay. Well, for those of you who couldn't see it, was The Love Is Gone. The song Belle sings to Scrooge as she breaks up with him, which means that the song at the end, The Love We Found, actually makes sense because it's a reprise of her song that they have now found love.
Can we just talk about how good the song One More Sleep Till Christmas is in that movie?
It is a good song.
It's
I would
so
agree with
good.
it. But again, it repeats itself over and over and over, so you remember it, unlike those songs in Mickey Saves Christmas.
Yes. So I guess you have to go into the extras.
Yes. You go into the extras, and then there's some like full-length version. And if you click, you can see the song itself. But if you click on full-length version, that is the version with it in process of where it is in the story. So that is a little Christmas gift from the Henson Company. Because they thought that for years, the original print of that was lost. It was on the original Muppet when it came out on DVD the first time. That song was there as an option.
You know where it probably was is in those random vaults that are in Burbank, where they keep all of the prints and all of the ink plots of everything that you have to wear gloves to get them out. That's probably where it was hidden.
From what I heard, it was basically saved. Someone had it saved on their, like a former Henson employee had it saved on their computer. Had a print of it saved on their computer.
You get fired for things like that nowadays.
Or you save Toy Story 2. So,
fair.
But so, guys, I want to wish every single one of you Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays and whatever else
Christmas.
you celebrate. Next week, yes, it's our closest show to Christmas, but we wanted to give you time to watch or not watch the different Christmas specials. Next week, we are watching the Idina Menzel special, Which Way to the Stage, which basically takes her progress through her career to the right. So we exit stage right. Sorry.
I'm actually really excited for this, just so you know.
Yeah, I mean, it should be fun.
I'm hopeful.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we all like documentaries, right? But
we all like documentaries.
Yes.
At least several of us like Broadway theater.
Most of us like musical theater.
I think so, yeah.
So some of us liked Frozen.
I will tell you, I actually am not the biggest Wicked fan, but I am excited for this.
And I'm allowed to not like Wicked because I don't like Wizard of Oz because I live in Kansas because that's all we ever hear. So
you know how many times I got, oh, Kate, you're not in Kansas anymore when I moved to Orlando? It was awful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's all we ever hear. That's all I ever hear too is, oh, not in Kansas, or where's Toto? Like you're the first one of the thousands that have ever said that. So yeah, next week is Which Way to the Stage.
People say that to each other in Kansas? That seems really weird.
No.
Okay.
Whenever you go, they find out you are from Kansas.
Yeah, when you go anywhere other than Kansas. I'm not even from Kansas. I just went to college there, and it was like, have you seen the wizard? I was like, I'll show you a wizard.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's funny because I didn't love Wicked either when I saw it.
Yeah.
And I was really looking forward to it. And I was just, I mean, I didn't hate it, but like, it was just okay.
It was an okay show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Guys, if you have suggestions, because we are going to have some time coming up here, February, March, especially if some of these Marvel series don't come out when they say they're going to, we're going to need some suggestions. So please email us, plusplatoon@gmail.com, message us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We answer all the messages we get, and even some of the ones we don't get. No. Guys, shows come out every Thursday on YouTube and all major podcasting platforms. Again, hope you guys all have a very happy holiday, whatever holidays you celebrate. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Kwanzaa.
Wow.
Happy winter
Festivus.
Festivus, anything.
And Festivus for the rest of us.
And with that, guys, have a great evening, and we will see everyone next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Feliz Navidad. Thanks for watching this week's episode of the Plus Platoon. Be sure to subscribe to the Plus Platoon podcast to keep getting great content each week. Then head over to Apple Podcast and leave those 5-star reviews, as they help make the Plus Platoon visible to even more Disney Plus fans. Also, go to YouTube and like and subscribe to the Plus Platoon channel, where you can watch all future episodes live. If you have a question for the Plus Platoon, please send us an email to plusplatoon@gmail.com or connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram @PlusPlatoon.
The Plus Platoon is a Disney Plus fan podcast and is not affiliated with the Walt Disney Company or the Disney Plus streaming service. All opinions expressed on the show are solely those of the individual hosts and in no way reflect the views of the Walt Disney Company.
Thanks for watching, and be sure to stay tuned for next week's episode, because the Plus Platoon is to be continued.